Today I'm here with Rachel Harsley. She is the founder of Clean Slate Messenger and a PhD student at UIC.
Yep.
To start off, tell people what Clean Slate Messenger is about and how you discovered it.
Yeah, Tom, thank you so much for letting me come on.
Of course.
I'm so excited to share with you guys. Clean Slate Messenger, you see it on my t-shirt. It's a privacy messaging application that allows people to send a message and then delete it from the other phone at any time.
Mm-hmm.
So we just launched our beta application in November.
Awesome. So how can people find out more about Clean Slate Messenger?
Of course, you can go online, go to cleanslatemessenger.com and follow us on our Facebook and Twitter and that kind of thing. It's really easy to get connected, and we're available right now in the iTunes store. So if you have an iPhone, which many of you guys, I'm sure you do, go ahead and grab it in the App Store.
Awesome. So how did you discover this great platform?
Clean Slate has been a journey for me. I love sharing with people the story. Like, when I was in high school, I was so in love with my boyfriend, and at that time we would text one another night and day, all kinds of craziness I'm sure you can imagine and relate to. But now, fast forward a few years later, me and him were no longer together.
Oh no.
But the reality is our digital trail is still out there, and that sort of concerns me as I get older and think about so many young people who have faced that same issue.
Yeah.
They have all these messages from the moment they log into Facebook or any other platform, and then what happens years later when you want to control it. So Clean Slate Messenger is unlike any other messaging platform because you can send a message and then in that second, if you sent it a second later, you want to delete it, you swipe it away and it's gone from both phones.
Is it kind of like the Snapchat sort of?
Some people call it Snapchat of texting. That's been the word that I've heard, and I'm okay with that.
You're okay with that? Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
So my other question is, you won the startup competition at UIC.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Congrats on that.
Thank you.
And you also won the recess competition.
Yes.
So I was wondering if you can give advice to people who are pitching for the first time and how they can stand out.
Oh yeah, pitching is all about practice. So for me, I probably went through about 5 practice rounds with friends and family, with some of the associates who are more familiar with the platform, and then really just trying to get their honest feedback. And if you do enough practice rounds, you'll be able to tweak your presentation. And of course, just practicing those presentation skills in general is just as important because the audience wants to feel excited about something. If they're sitting there, you can trust me that they don't want to be bored. They want to connect to what you're saying. So if you bring that excitement, your practice, and then you're ready to go.
That's great advice. Now I want to learn more about you as a PhD student.
Yeah.
What's a typical day like in that shoe?
I love being a PhD student. The life is pretty flexible. I think that's the best part. So the first few years you have to do a little coursework if you haven't done a master's. For me, I came right from a bachelor's program, so I had to do coursework. And then after that point, it's all about you coming up with your research and trying to, standard hypothesis, test the hypothesis, write about what actually happened. So it's the same thing for PhD students. Typical day, I wake up around 11 o'clock.
Okay, so not like an early riser.
No, I'm not an early riser,
Gotcha.
but I'll end up staying up to like 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning, so it balances out.
Yeah.
But most of the day I'm writing. Either writing programming code for my actual research, or I'm actually writing papers and trying to get things published. So that's how it works.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
How do you balance like Clean Slate Messenger, PhD, and then soon maybe a full-time job?
Yeah.
It's like a lot to juggle.
I was hoping you could tell me.
I don't know. I'm just, a recent grad.
All right, I understand. So for me, it's been really helpful to have Clean Slate because it gives me a little bit of balance. Whenever you're working so hard on something, I've been in this PhD program since 2011, you can get a little bit burnt out, a little bit tired, ready for a change of pace. So creating Clean Slate has been that change of pace for me, and it's been something that I actually enjoy, saying, okay, I'm done doing the research for today. Let me go do something that I'm passionate about. So it's been pretty fun to try to balance those two.
Yeah, no, it's awesome how you found your passion while going through this rigorous program.
Yeah.
What advice would you have for, an undergraduate student who is kind of trying to find his or her passion?
Yeah, it takes time. I would not be rushed in that process. For sure in undergrad, I knew that I wanted to study computer science, but there were so many other unknowns. So take your time and explore. And one thing I found that my friends who eventually had to switch their majors, those people ended up being very happy with the switch, even though there was a lot of anxiety about, oh my gosh, I've been this far. Is it okay for me to switch? But normally if you just follow your heart, you'll find a good fit for you. So don't be worried if you haven't found it the first year or so. Just keep pushing through and you'll eventually find what's the right match for you.
That's awesome advice. Before we end this, do you have any final piece of wisdom that you could provide to our audience?
Yes, it's going to relate to Clean Slate Messenger.
Of course, no worries, no problem with that.
Go ahead and download it. It's the one messaging application that allows you to control your digital trail. It's a lot of fun. There's even letter-by-letter messaging, which I think most young people enjoy because we also get tired of those little waiting indicator bubbles when you know your friend is typing something.
Right.
So with Clean Slate, you can actually see letter by letter what people are typing. Download the app. That will make my day. That will make Thomas's day. I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for taking time.
Of course. Thanks, Thomas.
All right, and that's a wrap.